Hello, my friends. Welcome back to StoryVibe English. I'm Richard, and I'm really glad you're here today. I want to share with you something that I believe can completely change the way you learn. It's simple, but very powerful. You can transform your English in just 6 months. Yes, 6 short months. Half a year. At first it might sound almost unbelievable, because many people think progress in a language takes 5 or even 10 years. But the truth is, you don't need such a long time to feel real improvement. 6 months is already enough to notice real change. In 6 months you can begin to feel different when you speak. If you bring English into your daily life, if you make it a natural part of your world, like the air you breathe, you will see steady progress. Every day, little by little, you will grow stronger in your skills. Of course, you might be asking yourself, how exactly can this happen? What should I actually do each day? How do I stay motivated for such a long time? Won't I get tired and give up? These are very natural questions, and in today's episode I'll answer them. Don't worry, I won't overload you with heavy theories. Instead, I'll give you clear, practical steps that you can follow. I'm not going to overwhelm you with long lists of grammar rules or complicated explanations. Instead, I want to give you something clear and easy to follow. I'll show you exactly what actions to take when you're listening, what to do when you're speaking, how to approach reading, and even the right way to practice writing. But that's not all. I'll also guide you on how to start thinking in English, and how to keep your mindset strong and positive when the process feels difficult. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a clear picture of the plan. You'll understand how 6 months can completely reshape your English and maybe even transform the way you live and see yourself. So I encourage you to stay with me. Listen carefully, and if you want to take it one step further, try shadowing my words as I speak. This could be the very beginning of your personal journey toward fluency. Now, let's get started. The first important idea you need to understand is one key word that I'll be repeating many times in this episode: immersion. Immersion means surrounding yourself with English so completely that it becomes part of your daily life. It's very different from studying for 10 minutes, closing your textbook, and then forgetting about it. That's not immersion at all. Real immersion is when English is present with you constantly. Not only in a classroom, not just once a week, but every single day. It's when English becomes the background of your life. From the moment you wake up in the morning, you're already meeting the language. Maybe you turn on a podcast while making coffee, maybe you watch a short video as you get ready. These small habits keep English alive around you. Maybe you prefer starting the day with a favorite song in English. From the very first moments after you wake up, the language is already filling your ears and your mind. And when you're by yourself, don't just stay silent, use that time to speak. Talk to yourself in English. Describe the little actions you're doing in real life. For example, you can say, I'm making coffee. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm getting ready for work. These may seem like very basic sentences, but they are surprisingly powerful. Why? Because you are weaving English into the rhythm of your daily life. When you step outside for a walk, you can also practice by thinking in English. Look around and let your mind name the things you see. If the sky is clear, remind yourself, the sky is blue. If you notice a tree, you might think, the tree is tall. And if a dog runs by, say quietly in your head, the dog is running. With time, this habit trains your brain to process the world naturally in English. Later, at the end of the day, just before bed, give yourself one more little moment with the language. You don't need to read an entire chapter or a heavy book. Even a single page or a short article is enough. The key idea is to close your day with English, just as you opened your morning with it. In this way, English becomes like the air around you, always present, surrounding you from morning until night. Of course, I know that at the beginning this can feel challenging. In the first weeks, you may even feel tired or overwhelmed. But that's normal, and it's part of the process. At the beginning, you may feel lost and even frustrated. You might listen to something in English and think, I don't understand a single word. That's completely normal, and it's an important stage of the journey. Think of it like starting to exercise after a long break. The first days at the gym feel heavy. Your muscles ache, you're tired, and part of you wants to quit. But if you push through and keep going, your body gradually adapts, and you become stronger. Learning English works in exactly the same way. In those first weeks, your brain is waking up. It's reacting to something new and saying, wow, this feels hard, I'm not used to it. But if you continue, little by little, your mind adjusts. Gradually, English stops feeling so strange. It begins to feel more familiar, more natural, like a language you can actually live in. That's why I want to remind you, don't stop, and don't give up. Remember that immersion is not about being perfect, it's about being present. The goal isn't to understand every single word right away, but to keep the language around you every day, so your brain gets used to it. Presence is the key. Now, let's talk about the first major part of immersion, listening. Listening is absolutely essential. In fact, you can think of listening as food for your brain. Just like your body needs meals to stay alive and gain energy, your brain needs a constant diet of English to grow stronger. If you don't listen, your English will remain weak and underdeveloped. But the more you listen, the more your language muscles will grow. That's why from day one of your immersion journey, you must make listening a daily habit, a lot of listening. Picture this scene, it's early morning, and the sun is just starting to rise. You wake up, stretch, and head to the kitchen to make your first cup of coffee or tea. Most people at this moment would turn on music or radio in their own language. But you're different, you've chosen a new path. You're on your English journey. So instead of filling the room with familiar sounds from your native language, you decide to bring English into your space. Maybe you play a short podcast. Maybe you open a simple YouTube video, just like this one. Or maybe you listen to a song with clear, easy words you can follow. As you brush your teeth or prepare breakfast, English is already with you. It's in the background, flowing around you like background music to your morning routine. And here's the secret, it doesn't matter if you don't catch every word. In fact, at the beginning, it's perfectly normal not to understand everything. What truly matters is that your ears are constantly being exposed to the sounds of the language. Your brain is quietly noticing the rhythm, the intonation, and the flow of English speech. Even when you don't realize it, English is finding its way into your mind and becoming part of your daily life. As the day continues, you can keep listening. Walking outside? Put English in your ears with a podcast or an audiobook. Cooking lunch or dinner? Let an English video play in the background. Even while you're cleaning your room, you can let English voices and sounds fill the space around you. You don't need to wait for some perfect moment or set aside a special place. The truth is, the perfect time is not tomorrow, and it's not when your schedule is completely free. The perfect time is always now. Every ordinary activity can become an opportunity to surround yourself with English. In the beginning, you may only catch a word here or there. Sometimes, maybe just 2 words. Sometimes it will feel like nothing but a flow of sounds with no clear meaning. And that's okay, that's how the process begins. Don't feel discouraged, and definitely don't stop. After a few weeks, you'll start recognizing more words. Then short phrases. Soon, whole small sentences will begin to make sense. And after a few months of steady listening, something amazing happens. You'll begin to understand full stories, the main message, and the emotions behind the words. Daily listening is like a workout for your ears. Your listening muscles get stronger, your brain processes English faster, and your mind adapts to the natural rhythm of the language. Over time, English will stop sounding strange or foreign. Instead, it will feel natural, comfortable, and familiar, like a language that already belongs to you. So yes, listening is incredibly powerful. It feeds your brain with the sounds and rhythm of English, almost like giving your mind its daily nutrition. But here's the truth, listening alone is not enough. To truly grow, you must also use your own voice. You must speak. Speaking every single day is the second essential key to transforming your English. And remember, transformation simply means change, a deep shift from one state to another. Many learners make the mistake of waiting. They tell themselves, I'll speak only when I meet a native speaker. I'll speak only when I travel abroad. I'll speak only when my English gets better. But if you keep waiting for that perfect situation, you might end up waiting for years. The perfect time is never later. The perfect time is always now. You don't need to have a native speaker sitting beside you, and you don't even need a teacher to start practicing. You can begin today, right here, even if you are completely alone. How? The method is simple: speak to yourself in English. Describe the things you are doing in real time. If you're walking down the street, say to yourself, I'm walking. If you're cooking dinner, say, I'm cooking. If you're enjoying a cup of tea, you can whisper, I'm drinking tea. These sentences may look small and simple, but they are powerful tools because they bring English into your daily life in a natural, practical way. These short, simple sentences may look almost too easy, but they are incredibly powerful. Why? Because they train your tongue and mouth to actually produce English sounds every single day. It's like giving your speech muscles a daily workout. The more they practice, the stronger and more flexible they become. Another method that can multiply your progress is called shadowing. I've mentioned this technique many times before, because it works. Shadowing means you listen to a sentence in English and immediately repeat it out loud, not silently in your head, but with your real voice. You mimic the rhythm, the intonation, and even the music of the words. At first, this exercise may feel a little strange. You might laugh at yourself and think, this feels silly. But if you keep going, little by little, it becomes more natural. Your tongue learns the exact positions it needs to make English sounds. Your mouth becomes comfortable with the flow and movement of the language. Just imagine this: if you spend 6 months speaking out loud every single day, what will happen? Your mouth will begin to move more freely. Words will come to you more quickly. Sentences will no longer be trapped inside your head, waiting to come out. Instead, they'll flow smoothly, like water streaming down a river. So here's the big idea to remember: listening feeds your brain, but speaking trains your mouth. You need both parts working together. Listening is input, it fills your mind with sounds, vocabulary, and patterns. Speaking is output, it releases what you've learned and makes it active. Listening fills the cup, and speaking lets the water flow out into the world. So, after you've practiced listening and speaking, there is another step that is just as important, maybe even more powerful. The next step is to train yourself to think in English. This step changes everything. When your thoughts start forming directly in English, the whole process of communication becomes faster and smoother. If you always translate from your native language first, every sentence feels heavy and slow. You pause, you hesitate, and you lose confidence because your brain is busy searching for words. But once you begin thinking directly in English, you no longer need that extra translation step. Words will appear more quickly. You'll speak with more freedom, more fluency, and much more confidence. English will feel like a natural tool, not a puzzle you're trying to solve. Now the question is, how do you actually practice thinking in English? The good news is, you don't need hours. Just 5 minutes a day is enough to start building this skill. 5 minutes is short, but if you use those minutes well, your brain will begin to adjust. Here's how you can do it. Set aside a moment and tell yourself, for the next 5 minutes, I will think only in English. During this time, ask yourself small, simple questions and answer them in English. For example, what do I want to eat? Then answer, I want an apple. Or ask, where will I go today? Answer, I will go to the store. You might also ask, what do I need to buy? Then answer with a short list. Even if your sentences are very short and very basic, that's perfectly fine. The goal is not perfection, the goal is to build the habit of letting your mind use English automatically. Step by step, your inner voice becomes an English voice. What really matters is not how long or complicated your sentences are. The true value lies in the fact that your brain is actively practicing. In the beginning, this process will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will constantly want to return to your native language. Your brain may complain, this is too difficult, why not go back to what feels easy? But here's the key, you must gently push forward. Don't give up when it feels heavy. If you continue, day after day, your brain will slowly adapt and grow stronger. After a few weeks, you'll begin to notice subtle changes. And after a few months, something remarkable will happen. Without even planning it, you'll catch yourself thinking in English. You might be walking down the street and suddenly hear your own inner voice saying, the sun is hot today. Or, I'm late for the bus. Or even, that shop looks interesting. And in that moment, you'll realize something powerful, you are no longer translating. You're not moving from your first language into English. Instead, your thoughts are forming directly in English. That's the clearest sign of deep progress. It means your brain itself is changing and transforming. So keep this in mind, listening trains your ears, speaking trains your mouth, and thinking trains your brain. When you bring these three practices together, ears, mouth, and mind, you unlock speed, natural flow, and confidence in your English. But there is still one more secret, and maybe this secret is the most important of them all. It is not about listening. It is not about speaking, reading, or writing. This secret lives inside your mind. It's about your attitude, your mindset. Mindset simply means the way you think. And the truth is, many learners fail not because they can't learn, but because their thoughts turn negative. They start telling themselves things like, English is too hard. I'm too old. I will never be able to do this. These thoughts are dangerous because they don't just create doubt, they destroy motivation. And once your motivation is gone, you stop before you ever reach real progress. So what should you do instead? You must take control of the voice inside your head. You must teach your inner voice to become your coach, not your enemy. Replace negativity with encouragement. When you feel tired, don't tell yourself, I can't. Instead say, I'm learning. When you make mistakes, don't say, "I'm bad at English." Say, "I'm improving." When you feel slow, don't think, "I'm stupid." Say to yourself, "Every single day I'm getting better." These are not just empty words. They carry energy. They act like fuel for your brain, giving you the strength to keep moving forward. Positive self-talk keeps your motivation alive, even when the path feels hard. And always remember, immersion is not about perfection. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know every word or speak like a native. What you need is presence, consistency, and a mindset that refuses to quit. You don't need to understand every single word. You don't need to sound exactly like a native speaker. That is not the goal of immersion. The goal is steady progress, becoming a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Step by step, day by day, those small improvements add up. And when you keep repeating those small steps, they eventually become a long, life-changing journey. So here is my challenge for you, my friends: dedicate the next 6 months to truly living inside English. Not 10 minutes once in a while, not only once a week, but every single day. Make English part of your life. Breathe English. Surround yourself with it. Let it become the background of your world. Listen daily. Fill your ears with English when you wake up, when you're walking outside, when you're cooking dinner, even when you're relaxing. Allow English to become the soundtrack of your day. And don't just listen, speak every day. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't stay silent. Open your mouth and use your voice. Start with simple sentences. Talk to yourself. Repeat the words you hear. Shadow the rhythm of English so your tongue and your mouth grow stronger and more natural with the sounds. And of course, train your mind. Practice thinking in English, even for just 5 minutes a day. Tell your brain, "Now, I will think only in English." Ask yourself small questions, give yourself small answers, and let your thoughts slowly transform. This is immersion. This is how, in 6 months, you can change not just your English, but also the way you feel about yourself as a learner. Ask yourself questions, and then answer them in English. It may feel simple, but if you keep doing this for 6 months, you will see real change. You will surprise yourself with how much progress you've made. You will feel lighter, freer, and more fluent. And most importantly, you will feel proud of what you've achieved. One day you'll say with confidence, "English is not just something I study, it's a part of me." So your 6-month English transformation begins right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you have more time. It begins today. The only question is, are you ready to take that step? Thank you, my friends, for spending this time with me here on StoryVibe English. I'm Richard, and I believe in your ability to grow. Keep moving forward. Keep listening, keep speaking, keep thinking, and above all, keep believing in yourself. Until next time, take care and bye for now.